And Pezz, he's definitely out for a vengeance.
Oh yeah.
It's a very close series in the upper bracket. See how close it gets now.
I'm sure he doesn't want a repeat of that ace smash that happened earlier. He is ready to bring it back.
As we start things off here on Oxide LE, as it is Year of the Ox, you know, Lunar New Year. It's happening, I think it's actually happening in about 5 days, something like that.
Oh.
It will officially be the Year of the Ox, and we are now on the side of the Ox, or the eye of the Ox. We're here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The Blues player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. He is 1/3 of the Zerg Muta Triangle, currently teamless, so you know, team owners, give him a call. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Australian Protoss player. Representing Team Mindfreak, he is purple, he is Pezz.
Oh boy, and one of the reasons I'm really glad that we are getting into a best of 3 for this lower bracket finals is because Pezz, he is a man of many builds. He really likes to get his variety out there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say Pezz and Azure are the 2 players who you can always count on them to do something different each game.
Definitely, definitely. Azure, I think a little bit more so, but Pezz as well, he has his own number of builds up his sleeve. He isn't, you know, kind of stuck in Twilight, like just opening up Twilight Council every game like we saw earlier. We didn't get to see much of it, but he is willing to open up Stargate as well. So I'm really curious to see what Pezz has in store for us in a more macro-oriented ZVP, which we haven't had today.
Well, already being a little bit annoying, trying to disrupt GogojOey's mining as much as possible. Meanwhile, GogojOey, he doesn't even care. He's going for a very quick third base, even by GogojOey standards.
Yeah, incredibly quickly. Normally you get the third like at around like 30 or so supply, but his is much faster. So yeah, GogojOey looking to open up a little bit more economic at the moment. And again, that's what I was trying to get into earlier, where GogojOey, he's fine, like, kind of not going for these early, like, roach pushes and macroing up a little bit more, you know, getting a decent amount of supply, you know, Ling, Bane, Roach Ravager, and just like, waiting for the Protoss to push into him instead. You know, he's kind of been switching things up a little bit.
Yeah, he has been working a lot on that counterattack style of Zerg, you know. Trying to just force the Protoss player into the most awkward position to fight in, and then try to go from there. Also, a lot of minor skirmishes that you really need the Protoss player to take that bait. Doesn't always work out, but when it does for GogojOey, he just carries that all the way back home.
Definitely, and we'll see how this game turns out. At the moment, Pneumatized Carapace is about to finish up. That is, of course, Overlord speed. So this Overlord of GogojOey, I imagine, will be diving in, looking to see what Pezz is up to.
And we do see that it's going to be a Void Ray. To be fair, I think GogojOey will find out about the Void Ray even without Pneumatized Carapace.
True. But you know,
we'll see.
Yeah, he wants to make sure there is no Twilight Council, no like early Robo or anything too crazy like that.
Now he's able to confirm it. It is in fact going to be a Void Ray opener. Might have got a glimpse of that Oracle, but even if he doesn't, he at the very least knows he needs to prepare some anti-air back at home. Should be seeing a couple of spores coming down. Fun fact, you place the spores on the floor, not the ceiling.
Yeah, a lot of newer players that don't quite get the hang of that.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, why does this keep shooting me? Why does this fan keep shooting me?
And okay, I'm really curious to see what GogojOey has in store for us, because of course he's getting his spores up and running. He should be getting a decent amount of queens to defend against the Void Ray, as oh my god, I love this. I love it whenever the Protoss does this. We'll see how much Pezz commits. We go to second Stargate.
Indeed, we do, and I feel like we've officially gotten to the point, Light, where when we do see a double Stargate like this, it is no longer just Paco Mike's build.
Oh yeah.
So many Protoss players have been trying to go into double Stargate with Void Rays.
Look, Pocket Mike was going for a double Stargate Void Ray before the Void Ray buff. Thank you very much.
He was, to be fair.
He
it's kind of like stats, right? How he was the one who actually invented the Glaive build but Zess was the one who popularized it.
Yeah, this has become a lot more mainstream, unfortunately. You know, Pocket Mike, our resident Latin American hipster. But I do like this response from GogojOey. You know, he's aware of the Stargate commitments, so he got an early lair, and he's going straight into Hydras.
Okay, very orthodox reaction to seeing the double Stargates like this. We'll see if GogojOey is the type of Zerg player who tries to hit a timing before the Protoss economy can really snowball, or if he's more of the type of player who's kind of like Rogue and prefers to just, you know, wait until the Protoss army is in a very compromised position and then throw down a ton of microbials, meanwhile being as greedy as they can.
Yeah. It does seem like maybe he is looking for a timing because he's making a decent amount of Hydras. We do have +1 on the way along with Hydra range. So, yeah, they are lining up quite nicely with each other. But the important part is GogojOey. He's a little bit out of position. All the queens are in the center of the map and the Void Rays are going straight into the main. Oh, but there are 2 spores.
Oh, that's enough to chase away. Prismatic alignment or no prismatic alignment. Those spores are going to do quite a ton of damage. Oh! This is a good stasis ward.
Wow. Nice.
In fact, while in stasis, energy doesn't generate.
Yeah, it does not. Meanwhile, GogojOey is getting ready for his massive push. He already destroyed the rocks here outside his base. He's destroying the rocks here outside the bases of Pezz. We have nothing but Lings on the way, Yaku.
Oh my.
God.
This could be a lot of trouble. Pezz has a very hardy Void Ray count, but that doesn't really matter too much against a ton of Hydras. To be fair, GogojOey doesn't have that much anti-air, but he does need to focus down these Void Rays and not fight them in shield battery range.
Yeah, GogojOey's trying to hit this timing again, like +1, and charge is still on the way for Pezz. Pezz, he's trying to get as many shield batteries as he can up and running.
And it's working out for him pretty well. Battery overcharge going down. Hydra's not really engaging on this army, but that's kind of fine. GogojOey's keeping his Hydra count alive and letting these Void Rays focus on a bunch of Zerglings instead. These shield batteries just about out of energy, and actually Pezz realizes that the Void Rays, he's just about cut them in half.
That he has, but really nice force fields there. Pezz stemming the tide, and now he's going to try and collapse upon this army, but there's just too much Zerg. He is forced to back off.
Yeah, not quite working out for him. The charger count not really there. Muscular Augment's going to be finishing up very soon, and this is going to give GogojOey a lot more maneuverability with his Hydra list. Trying to focus on whatever he can. Zealot's trying to do as much as they can, trying to go for a sandwich, but I fear that GogojOey might have just too much supply in these Hydras.
Yeah, the Hydras take out the Void Rays. Only 2 remaining here on the left-hand side, but charge and +1 did finish up, so Pezz, he's desperately trying to morph in more, but it's not enough.
GG, GogojOey actually displaying some very good patient play there. Well, he just waited for the batteries to, you know, use up their overcharge. Very quick reactions there. Saw it was popped, just backed away, focus on attacking the natural base instead. Once that finished up, he knew those shield batteries. They were going to run out of energy. They were going to run out of energy, and Pezz was going to be backed into a corner. And in the end, GG. GogojOey taking game number 1. Let's see what we have in game number 2.
That we will. GG GogojOey with that nice timing there. Hitting, as we were pointing out, it hit before charge, it hit before +1. They did finish up, but it was towards the end of the engagement when Pezz was already losing ground, when he was already losing or running out of energy on his shield batteries.
Indeed, he was. Man, it's one of those scenarios, right, where it's Protoss player really wants to be set on 4 bases, really wants to get, but getting there is kind of the question.
Yeah, definitely. Pezz just needed a little bit more time there, but GogojOey was not letting him have any of it. Oof. GG.
Yeah, he's saying that time. He is not Jim.
He's not?
He's younger. As we come in onto Death Aura. Speaking of Jim, am I right? That feels bad, as we are here in the bottom right-hand corner map, swatting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The purple Protoss player, Pezz, coming down from M for Melbourne, representing M for Mind Freak. He is the king of alliteration. He is Pezz.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the blue Zerg player hailing from the land of Hong Kong, already up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Can he close it out? It is GogojOey.
Man, I'm vaguely remembering there was a quick period in last year's offseason where Pezz, he just said, you know what, I'm going to play whatever. Signed up for a GPO as a Terran player, was playing, he was streaming this Zerg for a little while, but yeah, Katowice is coming up, and once that concludes at the end of this month, almost at next month, it's already February light. Yeah, once Katowice concludes at the end of this month, then it's back on that 2021/22 EPT season. Time to get serious. It also, AMZ helps, also definitely helps the motivations here, I imagine.
Oh yeah. That was the great thing about ANZ Champs, is seeing all the players like get hyped and starting to practice again. You know, players like returning players like Oreo, like Chase, like Mighty Kiwi. It was great to see everyone getting excited and doing customs. So yeah, we'll see how long it takes for these players to get back into form for the upcoming season of ANZ Champs. And we'll see how these two here shape up. Again, Pezz, he took it to the ace match last time, but here, GogojOey, he executed a very, very crisp Hydra timing. We'll see if Pezz goes for a double Stargate again.
That we'll see. I would honestly be a little bit surprised.
Ooh.
There we go, Twilight Council first. Again, Pezz, he likes to switch things up. He does not want his opponents to get comfortable with what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about it. You know, he isn't one to just do the same thing over and over again. He's not your Zest kind of player, right?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, you're going to call out Zest here?
Exactly. He has a little bit more versatility to how he plays, which is why it is that much more important for GogojOey to scout his opponent, which is why we do see Pneumatized Carapace on the way.
Yeah, doing it very reactive, as Zerg is wont to do. See how aggressive Pezz wants to be here with his Twilight Council opening. So far, only 2 gateways.
Oh, and just immediately going into Glaives. Okay. Again, when it comes to Pezz, I'm really curious what his follow-up is going to be to this. How much he commits to the Glaives, and whether he plans to go into Disruptors after this, or Immortals instead.
Yeah, if it's Pezz, I'm normally imagining Disruptor drops specifically, but yeah, you never know. It also depends a little bit on what GogojOey is going for. If he's going a little bit more Roach heavy, then, you know, maybe he'd want to get a couple of Immortals before going into Disruptors. Just act as a little bit of a baseline for damage. GogojOey getting a very good scout.
He does sneak past the Stalker, does get into the main base, sees everything there is to see, immediately throws down that Roach Warren as well as a Spine.
Yeah, he knows what's coming his way. He knows that Pezz, he is not a Beast Orc. He is not going to be researching Charge. He's just feeling pretty confident going for Roaches instead.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a good eye on the gas count. He should be checking, and he should confirm the gateway count as well, so he knows how committed this is, as it is for gateways. And as you said, like, I completely agree that this is Pezz. Normally from here, he goes into Disruptor drops, but I'm curious if he's been practicing something else instead.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. There's a little juke and jiving with the shades. And this brings me back, Light. This brings me back to 2020 when every Protoss player was doing this build. Oh
yeah, early 2020 was the bread and butter of this matchup before them Void Rays came out. We'll see if this holds up, this older style of play.
I mean, it's still pretty good. It just depends on the execution, you know. So, there are a lot of players who put their own little twists on things, you know. Stats is for some reason, like some multi-prong with this, and it usually works out really well. A lot of Zerg players just weren't used to dealing with a multi-prong attack of specifically Adepts at a time. Commit to the shade!
Yeah. I don't know if that was
immediately getting surrounded.
Yeah, they're all gonna get cleaned up. I think that may have been a little bit of a mistake there by Pezz committing to that shade. He does have a couple of Adepts here in the third base, you know, killing a handful of workers, which is nice, I guess, but that was a lot of Adepts.
It was a lot of Adepts. Meanwhile, he is trying to go for the multi-prong, but GogojOey, he was already here with the Queens, taking out that Warp Prism. And Pezz, he's taking out a good number of drones here, but is it going to be enough?
That's the question, as he does commit to these shades into the third base. There's no mining here in the natural, so he is causing some chaos and he is starting to get worker kills, but it was such a huge blow losing that War Prism.
It indeed was. Now he can't really keep up this pressure. He has to go into his follow-up. I do like that he's going into an Immortal first before going for a new Robo base, because again, it's a little bit more of a gamble going for the Disruptors when you know you're open to a counterattack.
And as we can see, he wants to go into Disruptors. Like, the Robo Bay is going down. Like, he wants to get into it. But as you said, like, you do need that little bit more security. Otherwise, you're going to get, like, caught with your pants down. And the Roach Army is just gonna crush you.
Really will. Much like, I don't remember the name of that singer. The Papa Roach guy. Not
Okay.
Durst, that was a different man.
Also, I'm concerned because I think this is a misrally.
It very much is.
No.
He initially was rallying his
Warp Prism.
Do you think maybe he thinks he has the Warp Prism? This Immortal is going to go right on top of these roaches. It's moving past it! Foster call Pezz! No! Keeps it alive at least.
He keeps it alive. It's exactly. It's like so close to going down. It's on the brink of death right now, and Pezz is on the back foot. There's this massive Ling counterattack, and more roaches coming from behind.
I think this is just about going to be it. Pezz made one too many mistakes, and GogojOey is capitalizing on them. The wall is not a wall. The roaches just go right on in. Hey. Disruptors, do something! Takes out a lot of roaches.
Yeah.
But it's only one Disruptor at the moment. Nothing else to clean this up.
And to be fair, Pezz hasn't lost too many workers. Only 5-6 drones going down. So his defense so far has been good. The problem is that these are losses that he can't really afford.
No, it is not. 9 probes. GogojOey really just returning the favor from earlier on. And at this stage of the game, you know, it's hard for the Protoss army to really be at 2 places at once, dealing with these sort of roaches. He just does not have a lot of DPS with him. Or at least not a lot that can effectively deal with the roaches, right? If it was a Ling Flood, this would be a very different story.
Definitely.
But GogojOey, he recognized that.
And GogojOey, he does end up backing off. Like, we do see he's expanding, taking a 4th base, but there are all these upgrades on the way as well. And Pezz, he's forced into this counterattack. Like, his 3rd was killed. It's either this or try and expand from here, but you're so far behind.
Yeah, this is his Hail Mary. He needs to have the most perfect Disruptor shots in order to be, you know, in order to be taking some sort of an advantage here. We'll see how well he can do. He has only 1 Disruptor so far. Meanwhile, his natural base is also being hammered down. Very solid defensive setup here for GogojOey. It's looking pretty hard for Pezz here, is what I'm gonna say. GogojOey, he recognized exactly what he needed to do to win.
GogojOey going for that surround. The force fields are pretty good, and the Disruptor shot was nice as well, but the roaches are starting to get on top of the Gateway army. The Banelings are connecting as well. We have Queens coming in and joining the fray. GG gets called.
And GogojOey, once again, is going to be taking that series. Another rematch is on our hands. Our finals will be a ZVZ.
GG, well played. As you said, we have seen this time and time again. Miyamika and GogojOey going back and forth against each other, taking series off each other. We saw them go all the way to that ace match in the upper semis. We'll see if GogojOey can you know, change things up, switch things up here against Miyamika in the rematch.